Back on the Anglers Extra pregame show, it's time for Catch of the Day. Special edition of Catch of the Day. I'm Drew Carter, now joined by hitting coach Jamie D'Antona. How are we doing?
Very well, and yourself?
Doing pretty well, thank you. We got an audience here right next to the dugout, so we'll try to keep this as PG as possible.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
First question for you. First time back since 2002 when you played for the Chatham A's. How's it feel to be back?
Feels great. You know, it's definitely different being on this side of the white line as opposed to being in the dugout and trying to actually hit and worrying about all that kind of stuff. And I got to deal with these animals. And right now, the inmates are definitely running the asylum. But it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
So talking about being on the other side of that perspective, with guys who have a lot of voices coming to them at their college team and now in the summer, how do you go about balancing being a different coach for them?
I mean, actually, this year's been really great. I didn't know how it was going to be, but everybody's been really receptive with. They've been really receptive with actually listening and trying to do things that I've been telling them to do. I was worried about in the beginning that, you know, guys would just try to do what their college coaches had preached. And before the season even started, I emailed all their coaches and asked them exactly what they wanted them to work on. So I had an idea of what they had to work on, but it's been really great. Just, I mean, guys have, like I said, listened and tried their hardest to do exactly what I've been saying to them. So it's been great.
I heard you at the beginning of the season saying, I'm not going to mess up your swing, not going to mess up your swing. Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, because I don't want to change things that they've been doing. They were all great players before they got here. So, I mean, the only reason they were that good was because they did well. They did well during the season. So me changing their approach and their swing that had success for them, you know, it wouldn't be good for them. It wouldn't be good for me as you know, trying to be a coach. So I just had to tweak things and more change the mental side of the approach as opposed to mechanics and that kind of junk.
Now, on the personality side, it seems like these guys like you quite a bit. We got the entire dugout being thrown in front of us. How have you gone about mending those relationships, and also developing them?
Well, I mean, the funny part is that, you know, I'm the kind of guy that likes to have fun anyway. So for this doesn't bother me at all. This is kind of how I played anyways. So I mean, for them to be thinking that they're going to, you know, to get under my skin or to kind of jab at me with this kind of stuff, this is fun for me. I enjoy this. This is, again, this is what makes baseball fun.
Yeah. You had a little bit of a renaissance the other day, taking BP with a loaded aluminum bat, hit some balls over the scoreboard. How'd that feel?
Metal is a lot easier than hitting with wood. No, it was good. I mean, I haven't taken BP, I haven't swung in BP in a very long time, so just getting back and actually getting swings and being back into an area that I did pretty well at, it was great. I mean, I take swings in the cage when I'm trying to show these guys, you know, certain things that I'm trying to tell them. So I know that I can still swing. It's just showing them that I'm not completely full of crap is nice. It's nice sometimes.
Let's go all the way back to 2002 when you were here as a player for the summer. What are some of your
to be honest with you, most of the stuff that I remember is not even on the field stuff. It's more of, you know, the certain restaurants that we'd go to, the town in general, just hanging out with everybody. But on the field stuff, I played too many games and been with too many guys to really remember much of that. But I do remember. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're wasting gummy worms, dude. Hold on, time out. So I remember that kind of stuff just because, you know, the baseball aspect of it, yeah, it was great, but I played for so much longer that some of that kind of stuff just melts together. Yeah. But the stuff I remember is the guys that I played with, the town, like I said, the restaurants, the people that were working at the restaurants that really did a good job of letting us into their family, essentially.
Now, speaking of restaurants and eating, just ate a gummy worm off the ground. Fabian Pena dropped it. How'd that taste?
That's great. I mean, you got to build the immune system, so sometimes you got to eat something off the ground.
Now, talking about eating new foods, you played in Japan for a little bit. What was that experience like?
It was great. That was probably one of my favorite experiences in baseball. The people, the culture, the food, even the baseball. I mean, it was great. It was very, very different than anything I've done here, but it was something that I wish that I would have been able to do it for a lot longer. But the food over there especially was something I missed. And I actually took the coaching staff to a Japanese barbecue type of thing in Boston after our Fenway workout, and they got a little bit of a sneak peek of what we kind of did every day. And we left there and they lost money on us for sure.
I know you're back in Chatham 15 years later. Why come back now?
Well, I want to get back into college coaching. It's something that, I try to get away from just because the way that I left after all the surgeries, I was a little bit bitter, and I was, I didn't leave on my own terms. Try to do anything else, and it just seemed like I was always drawn back to baseball. So when I asked Schiff if I could come out and coach with him, he jumped at the opportunity, thankfully, and this is gonna springboard me into my hopefully next career.
Have you thought about the next step at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm emailing coaches and trying to get into either a volunteer or hitting coach job somewhere in college baseball, and it's been a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But it's a process, and hopefully when I get my foot in the door and I finally get a job, it'll be easier to find that second job or that third job or stay in the same spot that, like Schiff has done for 25 years. But getting into the business essentially has been a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
Talking about Schiff, spending 25 years here, pretty cool ceremony.
I mean, hearing the stories and then afterwards at the house, hearing more stories and just the people that he's impacted. And the thing I think that was not talked about yesterday was, the guys that have come back, and he holds this in high regard as well, the guys that have come back and actually had their weddings here in Chatham. None of them are from here or even around here, but they've come back to Chatham to get married because of the experience they had in Chatham. So I think that just tells you how much fun and how impactful the town of Chatham has been on these guys' lives.
Get you out of here on this. We never see you wear a baseball hat, exposing that nice bald head. When did you lose the hair?
Yeah, the hair started thinning out a couple years ago. I don't know if it was from over dyeing or wearing too many baseball hats, but the high crowns that we have here, they're great hats, but with my head, it's slightly misshapen, and the fact that I don't have hair to fill it out, I look like a train conductor, and it's not a good look. And I got to get a good base layer on the head because, I mean, it haven't been, without hair enough time that it still gets burnt. So I got to get a nice little base.
Well, it's a good look. Thank you very much, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Jamie D'Antona, our catch of the day today. Anglers in town to take on the Mariners in Harwich at White House Field. Crazy interview. See if the Mariners are just as good. Back to the Anglers Extra pregame show with Max Hers.